yeah, this is my team. If you talking, it's how to be nice. I play with all of my life.
What is going on, guys? We're back, season 2, episode 1, Philly Dogs podcast, and it's a great day to be an Eagles fan. I'm
Oh, yeah.
John. That's Peter.
What's up? Go Birds.
Go Birds. We're the Philly Dogs. Um, Huge weekend, absolutely huge weekend. Initial thoughts. Initial thoughts, Peter. We're getting right into it.
Hey, man, I feel like the biggest thing that I'm thinking right now is you can't take this for granted. I
Mm-mm.
can't take this for granted. It's crazy. It's crazy to be in the city. You know, the Eagles won 14-3 conference championships, 2 years, second time in the Super Bowl in 3 years. That doesn't happen often.
No.
That doesn't happen often for a franchise. And I feel like biggest thing is can't take it for granted right now. And I'm feeling good. And I think that the Birds are going to win this game this week. What about you?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. Going to last week's game, you know, confidence is key. We were all confident. We knew this team is, I mean, has been there before, has what it takes to win. I'm just stoked. Stoked isn't even the word. This is the only feeling that could get better than this is obviously to win it. But
Yeah.
it feels like the greatest feeling in the world. The day after the Super Bowl, you wake up and it's like, or the day after the championship, conference championship, it's like, wow, man, like we're actually going to the Super Bowl. And I know we're 14-2 or 15 and whatever it is, 14-3, and we're 6-point favorites, but it still doesn't feel real. Like it doesn't feel real. I don't think it ever will.
Yeah.
Um, but
I mean, I feel
we got a jam-packed podcast for y'all today. First episode of season 2. Weekly
sir.
podcasts are back. It's Peter's flu game.
Flu game here tonight,
He's
fellas,
gonna
but
do the
we're
best he
good.
can.
Yep,
We
we're
got
good.
conference championship game recap, Super Bowl preview, talk about a little bit about Jalen Hurts and the game he had. And then obviously just going forward, how do you approach this week from a fan perspective? So, I don't think we can talk about anything else. Just get right into it. Conference championship game, Eagles, Commanders. What were your thoughts? Just broad point of view. You can get into whatever you want, offense, defense, whatever.
Honestly, man, I feel like the biggest thing was, I mean, there's so many things, but I feel like first and foremost, it's got to start with Jalen Hurts. I feel like Jalen Hurts played it incredible this
Yep.
week. And I feel like he kind of silenced the doubters a little bit. And I mean, we talked about it. Um, we said he just has to be slightly better, but he could be himself, and we believe in him. And I think that he showed that. He showed, and I feel like it was really telling after the game when he said that Sirianni let him out of his straitjacket a little bit. I thought that was a really interesting quote because you could kind of see that in the way that he's playing. And I know that all these people look at the stats and they're like, his stats suck. But if you watch the games, it's pretty obvious that he's trying. His biggest thing was not turning the ball over.
Right.
And I feel like this week what he did so well is he kept to that. He didn't turn the ball over, but he also was it, still he was willing to take risks. He was willing to take risks like we talked about with those deep shots, like the AJ Brown throw on 4th and 5. That took some balls right there, and
Yep.
that was great to see. And I mean, number two, I feel like we got to shout out the offensive line. Got to shout out Landon Dickerson, who came in at center and played a great first half, injured.
Yep.
And then Cam Jurgens came in second half and was able to keep that together. I feel like that really epitomizes what this group has been about all year. I think
Even
that,
Steen coming in and,
oh
didn't have the
yeah,
best game, but didn't, on
yeah,
short notice,
yeah.
dude, you can't ask for more.
Steen being able to come in and give legitimate snaps. And I know the Commanders' defense isn't that good, but I thought that they played great. And then quickly, I'll touch on the defense. I thought the defense was amazing. I mean, Zach Bond again.
He-
Again, it feels like every game.
He's making a big play. I don't know how he does
Zach
it.
Bond gets better. He comes in, he forces another fumble. I mean, it's from top to bottom, this team is elite, and it was great to see. It was possibly the best Eagles game, second best Eagles game I've probably ever watched, excluding the Super Bowl.
Right.
So
Um, yeah, I'm just touching on what you said. We asked Jalen, don't do too much, just do a little bit more of what you've been asked to do. And like you said, like he said, he got let out of his straight jacket. And I don't think we've seen half those play calls being called all year. RPOs. I mean, there was 6 or 7 ran in just that game. I don't think we ran 6 or 7 in the previous 3 weeks combined.
okay.
Um, couple deep shots, and they're timely deep shots. They're not just, I guess forcing anything. Like it's 4th and 5, and you have AJ one-on-one on the outside. He gets leverage. The Goddard one broke us. It was like I think Lattimore played the Smitty post on the inside, and
Yeah.
you had him breaking up the seam. He did what he was asked, and he didn't put the ball in harm's way. And a lot of these throws were just easy reads. Like even Goddard early on in the game, that huge 3rd and 5, after Washington scored to make it 14-12. That's a
He was
big
great
play.
too. Goddard was great.
That was huge. That's a big play to keep the drive going. So I think he played phenomenal. I mean, 4 total touchdowns, 250 passing yards, only 28 attempts, 71 completion percentage. Like, this dude just wins. All he does is win. I don't understand the people that have hated on him the entire year. I'll always defend him, even if he's playing bad. But like right now, I'm definitely going to defend him because there's not a lot of people that can just take the criticism, bite their tongue, and just keep pushing forward and make all the right plays and push all the right buttons. That being said, Kellen Moore called his best game of the year. Two
Easily.
two tight end jet sweeps, jet touch pass to Smitty, great RPOs, great design rollout out of like not out of play action either. Out of like going like the play where
Yeah.
we ran it 3 times where Jalen gets the ball and just runs to the right and throws to AJ Curl, and
A
it's
lot of
it's
motion
money.
too. A
Yeah,
lot of
a
motion.
ton of motion. Especially on the touchdown to AJ Brown on 3rd and goal. Motion, got it across to get one-on-one with Mikey Samerstill and AJ. Just I mean, absolute perfection game play calling and a game management from Kellen Moore. It's going to the defense side of the ball. I mean, they do it again. They do it every week, but they do it again. Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. We said the two things we got to win. We got to win the turnover battle, and we got to win the sack battle, and we won both. Um, they punched the ball out like no other team I've ever seen. I don't know what it
That's
is. I don't know
insane.
what they learned over the offseason with Fangio. It's amazing. They're all active. I don't know if you saw the Orlovsky clip of it was Coop, Vaughn, and I think Slay on the screen
Yeah.
pass, all putting their
Oh
foot in
yeah.
the ground at the same
Yeah.
time. I mean, they're just so in sync. They're so in tune. They're eager to learn with under
Yeah.
Fangio. It's just such a 180 from last year where they're
Sure.
missing 4 or 5 tackles on a slant route and letting Mike Evans run for a 50-yard touchdown. Even special teams, another fumble. Like Jake Elliott missed a
Will
54-yard.
Shipley,
Will
our
Shipley,
guy.
dude, what a game from him. 74 yards on 4 carries, just amazing. Uh, Jake Elliott did miss a field goal, but it's a 54-yarder. I wouldn't have taken that in the first place. I would have punted, but it is what it is. But yeah, just an overall sound game. How do you think that like there's been a kind of a misconception about Jaden Daniels, and some people are saying he played great, some people are saying he played bad. How would you rate Jaden Daniels for a rookie? I mean, amazing. But how would
I
you
mean,
rate his overall performance just as a quarterback? Not as a rookie. Take away that, just as a quarterback in that kind of
I thought he was good. I mean, I know that a lot of, I mean, all the pun. I mean, I think he was good. A lot of the pundits were saying that he was good. I have a feeling you're going to say you didn't think he played very good. But I feel like he's really good. I mean, he can really bounce back. If there's a bad play, he's really good at. It was like there's a couple first downs, even first drive. Obviously, that first drive was probably the best drive they had the whole game. I mean, they only came away with three. Um, but to be able to continually do that, and I know you don't say as a rookie, but I feel like that is important. I mean, it's incredible that the season that he had, and I mean, he did throw that he threw one pick, but it was at the end of the game. I thought
yeah, it was garbage time.
he didn't do a horrible job of taking care of the football. He had a couple moments where he wasn't terribly accurate. But I thought he played well. I mean, I thought that everybody like their run game was almost non-existent. I didn't think that like their number one rusher, like Brian Robinson, was 11 for 36,
Yep.
Eckler 8 for 15, and we talked about that. We talked about how the Eagles need to stop that and make Jaden Daniels really have to put the team on his back. And he tried. He did it. I thought he was good. They were moving up and down the field, but I thought in classic Fangio fashion, the whole season, even if they can go up and down the field they're able to bend, not break.
Yep.
And I feel like when it really matters most, they make plays. Zach Bond, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis with that sack, um, Nolan Smith at the end of the game. I mean, they got ballers who are able to make the big play when it matters most. And I feel like that really showed up. But I thought overall, I thought Jaden Daniels played a good game. Um, And he would have, I mean, like we said, he had to be God to win this
Yeah,
game. And he wasn't. He was just he was
right.
just I'm here curious to see what you
Yeah,
think.
I don't think he played bad. I don't. He played for what he was given. De'Ami Brown is wide receiver two, Ertz is tight end one, Eckler and Robinson, who really aren't all that. They're
And McLaurin.
Yeah, and yeah, he's got Terry's number one, but even that they're giving safety help a lot of the time. Even though
Yeah,
Quinn doesn't need it, they're just giving it because who else are you gonna give safety help to? Really, no one on that
exactly.
team.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, he played good, nothing crazy. That first drive, I was like, wow, like he's extending a lot of plays with his legs, like he always does.
Yeah.
And we talked about this last week, like you said, like if you take away the run, make him beat you, bend don't break, it's gonna work, and it worked to perfection. Um, I knew the game was in our hands, and they were like, mm, okay, we have to settle when they took three on the first drive because they got the other two
Yeah.
fourth downs, and
Yeah.
then they had to take three on fourth and
I
three.
kind of think that they should have, just as an aside, I kind of think they should have
Gone
went for
for it.
it
They
there.
the
Like,
100%. If
yeah,
that was
like
my
if you
team, I
look
would have
back
been.
at it, they for sure should have went for it. I
Yeah,
mean,
like three is probably just as the same as zero in that at that point because like all
yeah,
right, you drove 17 plays to take 3 points. It's different if it's the end of the game, but the first
yeah,
drive, like you're going for seven. You need to set the tone.
yeah,
You're in Philly. You're six
yeah.
point underdogs. You got a rookie
Hindsight's
quarterback.
2020, but like looking back, you let up 55 points. Like you
Yeah,
you gotta go for it whenever you can. But yeah,
yeah, and
continue.
and, and everyone said like going back to what was it? I forget what week it was, but I know the last time they played him, when Kenny Pickett was quarterback, and we got 4 turnovers, and he made 6 points off those turnovers.
Yeah,
Everyone said, you better hope that you don't turn the ball over 4 times with Jalen, because Jalen's gonna make you pay for it. 4 turnovers, 28 points,
yeah,
and 22 more points than what Kenny Pickett did, and we all knew this game shouldn't have been close, and it wasn't because we've
yeah.
been here. We have better talent. We have better coaching. As good as the job that Dan Quinn and Kingsbury and all them did, they're not us. They don't have the talent. And listen, it's year one. Like they're gonna be
Oh yeah.
back. I know they're gonna be back some
Big
within the
respect
next
to
few
the
years.
commies, man. Big respect to the
Yeah,
commies.
100%. Their fans a little different. I'm not gonna respect their fans, but that team and the players I will give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Um, Now flipping to the other side of things, what is your mindset for the Chiefs? Super Bowl, not getting into predictions and stuff like that yet, but what is your mindset going into this game? I know last time I was like, man, like we're happy to be here. It's really cool to see
Yeah.
AJ and Jalen in the Super Bowl, and man, like this is year one of what could be a generational team. Like, what is your mindset going into this game now? Like, are you happy or are you like, okay, we need to win this?
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm happy, but I also think that they are the better team. I mean that's so hard to say because
It's
I'm
the
biased.
Chiefs.
I'm biased and it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I think that they're better top to bottom. And I mean, I've been saying that this whole year. We've been saying it every time we talk. They're better top to bottom. The Eagles have probably the best roster they will ever have right now.
Even if
Like
they don't win this Super Bowl, I still think this is the best Eagles team in
oh,
team history by
oh
far.
yeah, for sure. I mean, if you go position by position against 2017, they're almost better
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's
Like
not even close.
it's insane. I mean, I think that what's the biggest like X factor going into that game and how I'm feeling is I really want to see the offensive line get a little bit healthier, if possible. But that's kind of grasping at straws because I mean the defense everybody's playing besides N'Kobe, of course,
Yeah.
and I think that they're going to play well. What's your mindset going into this game, Johnny?
Yeah, it's weird because, it is the Chiefs. They're 15-2.
Yeah,
They're going for the three-peat. It's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. It's Travis Kelce in the playoffs, and he shows up. Um, but I do feel like this is a must win. And I know it's Super Bowl, everyone's gonna say it's a must win. But if you asked me if 2 years ago if that game was like a must win for this franchise, I would have said like no, this is the year one of
yeah,
of a I guess the team year one of that team, with AJ and uh Sirianni's first year with a good squad, not Jalen Reagor and Quez Watkins as his wide receiver twos.
And like
Um,
second year Smitty, like
yeah, exactly. Like that was his first year with a good team behind
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
So I wasn't really like we got a lot of time. Jalen's 24. You
Yeah.
know, we have a lot of time. Now it's like, okay, I understand Jalen's only 26 and stuff like that, but are we ever going to get a year where Saquon Barkley does this again and isn't healthy, isn't hurt
Yeah,
at all?
exactly.
That's the question. Are we gonna, you know, what's gonna happen? I know Slay's talking about retirement, and he's
Like, are we
been
gonna have the best defense in the league
exactly. Is Zach
again
Bond
during
going to be
this run?
playing on a minimum?
Yeah.
Like stuff like this. You're not gonna get this again. And I understand the Chiefs are a frigging dynasty, and that's putting it in the lightest of terms. They are
Yeah.
Goliath, and we're not David by any means, but they are Goliath. Um, so yeah, my mindset going into this is I'm happy we're here. It feels so good to be here. There's not a better feeling in the world to go to the Super Bowl.
Can't take it for granted.
Yeah,
Can't take it for
exactly. Like
granted.
I I love this. This is like the best. The week
Yeah.
before the week of the Super Bowl, the first bye week is the best because it's like you could just sit back and relax and watch the
Yeah.
highlights and watch the
Yeah.
media stuff. It's great. But next week I'm going to be like we need to win this game. Like Jalen needs a Super Bowl. Sirianni needs a Super Bowl so bad. If Sirianni wins this Super Bowl, arguably he's the best coach in franchise history already, which is crazy to say because he was on the hot seat in week 4.
Hey.
So he'll be the only other coach in Eagles history to win a Super Bowl. He's the winningest coach in Eagles history in terms of win percentage. And then you start to talk about things like, all right, is Jalen not the best? Because best is, in my opinion, skill, like arm talent. Is he the greatest Eagles quarterback of all time? The only other
No.
one to win the Super Bowl. McNabb went to 4 NFC Championship games, lost 3 of them. I know Foles had a great run. Outside of that, he had one other good year.
I mean,
And then you look at guys like, all right, like Randall Cunningham, he never won one.
I'd
So
be interested to see like sorry to cut you off, but I feel
no, it's
like
all right.
I'm curious. I feel like those conversations can be had after
Well,
because
that's why I'm saying this is a
yeah,
must win, so we can have
yeah,
those conversations. What is the
yeah,
conversation after? Where do you go if you lose from here? I know it's like you're probably having the same team running it back, but it's not the same feeling as 2 years ago when it's like, all right, well, this was Jalen's second year as a starter. Like now
yeah,
we're going into year 5 of Jalen as a starter next year.
yeah, yeah,
Does it, what does AJ do? Is AJ kind of unhappy that they can't get the job done? Even though
yeah,
that's kind of WIP talk,
yeah.
but
No, yeah,
still, those are the conversations that are had. Whereas if we win a championship, I feel like there's a good 2 to 3 year window after where even if you don't win it, it's not that big of a deal. Even though winning is the main thing. Like,
like after 20, like in 2018 and
yeah,
2019, it was
like
like
it
that.
was like, okay, it sucks that we're first, second round exits, but we just won 2 years ago,
We
and
did just win the Super Bowl. Like it's like
exactly. So I feel like that's why it's a must win. So we can kind of have some relief. We are in such a desperate period of time where we need a championship for the city after
yeah,
seeing the Sixers fan out, the Phillies go from World Series to NLCS to NLDS exits, and then now the Eagles go from Super Bowl loss to first round exit, and now you just need to win this game. And for just for the fans' sake, like just to calm everyone down and be like, man, we won. Like we know this team is
yeah,
amazing. Now we can like the fan. We need this. We need this very bad. So I think this is a must-win game. And my mindset going into it is let's just win. Just win.
yeah,
I don't want to be in another situation in 2, 3 years where it's like, all right, like here we go again, another Super Bowl. Like what's gonna happen now? I don't want this to be the
yeah,
2004, 2005 Eagles where they're going to NFC Championship games and losing every one of them. So
yeah. I agree. And I think that it's really way harder to get to it's incredibly hard to get to the Super Bowl, and I feel like when you're in it, like when we're so good right now and they made the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they're in the Super Bowl now. It's easy to be like, oh, they'll go back. But how many teams have said that? How
yep.
many teams were like, oh, we'll be back. We'll be back. And they'd said that in 2022. And then look what happened last year. I mean, and then obviously Howie had a masterclass this
Yeah.
offseason and got us right. But
Nobody could have predicted that we
I
were gonna get
totally
back here.
agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Like they got to win this. They need this one. The city needs this one. And I think that it's it's hard for to say like when will they be back? When is this chance ever going to happen again.
Right.
And they're like the Eagles went how many years without making a Super Bowl? Almost 25 years
Yeah.
from the 80s to 2004. From I think it was 81 to 2004. That's insane. So I feel like this is a big one for the boys, and I think that they're going to pull it out.
Right, right. And then moving on from that, I know we jumped prematurely to the Super Bowl, but we were already on the topic of
Yeah.
Eagles. I just wanted to get that going because I've been thinking about this all day, like the
Oh
Super Bowl.
yeah.
It's all looking back to the Bills game, the Bills Chiefs game, how did that, you know, affect your mindset on who do you want to win? Like which team do you want to face? Do you want to face Josh Allen? Like it is Josh Allen. Don't get me wrong in the playoffs, but like
Yeah.
it's he I'm not afraid to say it right now. He's a little bit scarier than Mahomes because Mahomes isn't playing his best football. But then again, it is Super Bowl Mahomes.
I don't know. I
So
still think Mahomes.
what was like your mindset? I guess like at the end of that game when you saw the Chiefs were like good when the Bills didn't convert, what were you thinking? Like what were your first thoughts? Like, thank gosh, or like, oh, we're playing the Chiefs.
I was like, damn, we gotta play the Chiefs again. Like this is kind of scary.
Yeah,
Although I think we're better than both of those teams. I think we're more talented than both of those teams. I think the real like thing that's scary is that the Chiefs have the best coach coordinator duo like in probably NFL history,
right.
with Spags and Andy Reid. And I think that Andy Reid loves Sirianni. Andy Reid's going to outcoach anybody that's across from him. And I don't feel like that's the case with Sean McDermott. And I think that Spags is an incredible defensive coordinator. And I think that he's probably going to, obviously, so is Fangio. I mean,
Right.
and I think Kellen Moore's a good OC. I think they're going to scheme something up. But I think that like Spags can scheme something up to make it tough on the Eagles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Especially
I think,
his blitz packages are just
oh
insane.
yeah, I mean he's the that's his thing, man. And
Yep.
then and I think that Josh Allen's amazing, but I feel like it would have had to be more of a let's put the team on my back, kind of like Jaden Daniels type. Got to put the team on my back to beat this to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I don't think that that's how it has to be for the Chiefs to win. I mean, the Chiefs have the second best roster in the league behind the Eagles by far.
Mm,
Um, and I mean, their skill players are getting healthy. They got Hollywood back. Um, I mean, now Hollywood, D Hop, and Xavier Worthy, like that's a pretty good wide
yeah.
receiver room. When you go back to the beginning of the year, they didn't have D Hop, they didn't have Marquise Brown, they only had Xavier Worthy and Kelsey, obviously. But to have those receivers, and I think that that's obviously scary, but I think the Eagles are ready for them, man. But I would have rather played Buffalo. What about you?
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind playing Buffalo. It just the Eagles historically don't do good against mobile quarterbacks. And I'm not saying Mahomes isn't a mobile quarterback. I'm just saying Josh Allen is more of a run threat than Mahomes is.
Yeah.
So that was my first initial instinct. Like, okay, at least we're not playing a mob like a run threat
Mhm.
quarterback. Even though Mahomes can run, he ran for like 70 yards that game.
In the
Um,
playoffs, he will run it.
yes,
And
100%.
the biggest thing, just as an aside, the biggest thing with him is he will fake slide. He will fake go out of bounds
He
to
will slow down and make you think that he's giving himself up and then just get an extra 8, 10 yards.
he watches
So
Joel Embiid tape. He has to.
it's simple, dude. It works. So, but yeah, my initial thought process was like, yeah, of course everyone wants to play the Chiefs because they want revenge.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have mind playing Buffalo. That's my like because Andy Reid versus Sean McDermott's night and day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that you can run if Kareem Hunt in 2025 is gashing their defense. I don't know what Saquon Barkley would have done, but
Oh, yeah.
just for the pure, I think the Eagles are going to play with a chip on their shoulder, or they would have played with more of a chip on their shoulder against the Chiefs and the Bills. The Bills be like, all right, cool, like it's the Bills, like we're ready for this, like we know our coaching is better, our personnel is better. Now the Chiefs like a true test, like
Yeah.
they want to beat this team, like they want to kill this team.
Facts.
Everyone knows, everyone's in the building. That was almost everyone that was in the building for the loss 2 years ago, so everyone knows how this feels. Sirianni's gonna a very emotional guy. I know he wants this more than any of us like all the
Oh
entire
yeah.
city of Philadelphia combined. He wants this to shut everyone up about him and get his revenge and
Oh
finally
yeah.
beat his mentor. Um, so yeah, I mean, am I afraid of Patrick Mahomes? Yes. I know that what they're going to do is just kill us in the short pass game, or try to, with Kelsey sitting in like his little hook routes off the zone, get Hollywood and Worthy in open field and get them running.
That's
Like we know what the Chiefs do. We know they play to their strengths, and just like we do, we play to our strengths. It's going to be who wins the turnover battle yet again. Who can force a turnover? Who can control time of possession? Stuff like that.
yeah.
I do think that we're ready for like. I didn't think we were ready last time. It was cool. It was great. We were obviously the best team in the league, and we got. It was a little weird how we
Yeah.
got there because we beat the Niners with their third string quarterback. Um, However, I do think like if there's ever a time to get them, it's right now. This
It
is
is.
They have a good team, but there's no doubt in my mind that this is probably the worst team they've had in this 3-year window, in my personal opinion. I don't think
Yeah.
their receivers. Now, granted, you say like DeAndre Hopkins and Worthy, and Worthy's a rookie, but he's still
Worthy's
good.
good though. Worthy is good.
Good, but he's a wide receiver three. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Hopkins is kind of cooked, and if I'm not gonna lie, he doesn't really move me. It's really just, can you tackle these guys in open field? Can you hold them like we did against Washington? Can you hold 3 to 4 yard gains instead of 8 to 9 yard gains? Can you
Yeah.
tackle them? Can you not let them get yards after the catch, yards after contact, stuff like
And
that?
also a big thing is are they able to stay in that too high shell look like we
Yep,
talked about without moving guys down into the box to be able to have to stop the run. And I mean they haven't had to do that all year.
yeah,
But to be able I feel like it's impossible to describe how much of an advantage it is when you're able to play uh with six guys in the box with two backers and four down linemen and be able to stop the run whenever you
yeah.
want.
I
That's
mean, we get pressure with four almost.
yeah. When you
I'm gonna
get pressure
say
before,
2 of every 3 plays, we're either stopping the run or we're getting pressure with four. So,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
but yeah, that's also another thing. Like, are you going to? I know what we did last year when we played the Chiefs. We went into a lot of five wide. I think we were in 13 or 14 5 wide play calls against the blitz on first and third down, because there's nothing Spags likes to do more on third down than blitz, obviously.
Yep.
So are you going to be able to stay in that third and fourth and manageable? Like, not get out of,
Yeah,
what you're trying to do. Stay in that 3rd and 5 or less, 3rd and 6 and less, and take what they give you. If they're blitzing, you gotta know who you jailing, who you dumping it off to. If there's a free rusher, who are you going to right here? But yeah, I think we're ready. We've seen this Chiefs team 3 times in the last 3 years. So we know what they're gonna do. They know what we're gonna do. It's just who can play to their strengths and who can not play the best, careful, not what was the word? Non-turnover worthy
yes,
football.
yeah.
And that's basically what it comes down to. And that's also why like the Bills are a little careless. Like we know they do turn the ball over. They're a little
They will
careless.
turn it over. Yeah,
Exactly. Whereas the Chiefs, they're not going to beat themselves. Like if you're going to beat them, you're going to have to earn it every single step of the way. They don't beat themselves. Just like the Eagles. They're
yeah.
probably the two best coached teams in the league. If I
At this point, yeah, and I
Yeah,
feel like that's why everybody was so. I feel like a lot of people were upset that these are the two teams that are in the Super Bowl because I feel like if you went back to like if you went back to week 8 and you saw who are the two some of the best teams in week 8, these are the two best teams, and
yep,
it's going to continue that way. And just to piggyback off of what you said, and I mean, I feel like the thing that with KC is if we can move the ball and on third down, I feel like they have to continue to do like we talked about against Washington, continue to do what you do all year. Um, you move the ball with Saquon, and you have the pass game when you need it, but lean on Saquon, lean on that
yep,
run game. If there's anything to stop them from having to blitz on third down, it's being able to run the ball consistently.
yeah,
And I think that if and especially against those exotic blitzes. I mean, if you can run the ball up the gut, you can't. Why you can't call it an exotic blitz? And I mean,
exactly. You can't run that corner
it's
blitz that they always run, like
yeah,
because they're
you
not going to
can't
have
run
enough
that. I
bodies.
mean, it's not going to be worth it.
Yep.
And I think that they have to continue to run the football, and also if they can stop the run, like once again we talked about last week with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. I think that that's a sneaky, really important part of their offense because while they can dink and dunk down the field. Don't get me wrong. They really
I
can.
mean, it's their bread and
Um,
butter.
It's our bread and butter. But I mean, like Kareem Hunt got at 17 rushes for 64 yards last week. The thing with Kareem Hunt that's so weird is it feels like he's never going to break a 20-yard run. Never. But he can get 5 yards almost every single
Yeah,
play,
he'll just
which
get
is
three to
really
five,
weird.
and he
Yeah.
won't take a loss. He'll gain minimum
Yeah.
yards,
Yeah.
but it
He'll break that first tackle and
yep,
go down 5 yards away. And they also have Pacheco. So I mean, they have and last week Mahomes ran 11 times for 40 yards,
yeah,
43 yards, and they had 2 rushing touchdowns. So he will run and he will bait that foul. But I think that stopping that run game and make them just pass the ball down the field, I think that that is a key. And I obviously it's a little bit scary to be like, let's dare Mahomes to pass the ball down the field.
yeah.
But I think but if you can make them one dimensional, especially against this defense that, I mean, honestly, what team has really dominated the Eagles? I mean, the Chiefs, I'm not Chiefs, the Commanders had the one week
Yeah.
where
But
they
that
put
was
up
also like
36.
we were giving them the ball every 5 minutes.
Exactly,
So,
exactly. And I don't think there's been any team that has really been able to pick us apart. I think everybody's healthy, especially in the secondary. That's huge.
right.
Um, so, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm feeling good, but I think they really got to stop the run. If they can run the ball on our side, keep with the identity. That's when I feel like the Eagles have had fits throughout the season is when they try and be different, and when they continue, which they've done, when they continue with that pattern of let's run the ball and we'll play good defense, they will win almost every game.
Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah,
And the Chiefs haven't played a team like this where they're
no,
run heavy, but they can also not beat you, they can kill you in the pass if they want to.
yeah,
So, like they played the Bills, very pass heavy. And yes, don't get me wrong, James Cook is a phenomenal runner, and so is Josh Allen. But at the end of the day, you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna put the ball in the hands of Josh Allen and let him try to beat them.
but
Whereas
he
this
had to put the team on his back.
exactly, and that doesn't work. Same thing with what we played against the Commanders when they played the Chiefs played the Texans 2 weeks ago.
Can't win a title that way.
No, and Joe Mixon got going, but it was too little, too late because there was, I mean, so many pass plays from CJ Stroud. It was like, what are you doing? Like you could have easily
Yeah.
ran the ball here. So they haven't played a team like us, whereas we played a team just like them. In my opinion, the closest thing to them is the Ravens. Yeah, they can run the ball with Derrick Henry, but we took that away and we made Lamar Jackson beat us, and it didn't work. So,
Yeah.
and that Ravens defense is phenomenal, just like this Chiefs defense is it's pretty damn good. I mean, they got great linebackers, they got a good secondary, and they got like two good defensive linemen. So, obviously, run, 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 trust Saquon, but also stick with the RPO, stick with the quick pass game. If you have a one-on-one shot on second or third down, take it, but stay in third and fourth and manageable and just trust what got you here. Don't get out of game plan. Don't start passing the ball
Exactly.
35, 40 times. Max 30 pass attempts. That's all I want. Keep the ball in Jalen's hands if you want, but counter bash, the play that we love now. Jet
Yeah,
sweep,
they're
jet
good there.
touch pass, like just quick plays with like minimal motion, and that's how you're gonna beat this team. Like you're not gonna get up there and you're not gonna like disguise them. You're not gonna beat them by out coaching them. It's gonna come down to like who who executes their plays the best. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Yeah.
Which players execute the plays the best.
And I also feel like another thing that's really interesting. I mean, if you look at the point differential between the two teams, the Eagles are plus 160 point
Yep.
differential, and the Chiefs are plus 59,
Yeah.
which is incredibly interesting. But I feel like if you're the Chiefs, that's what they want to do. They want to muck the game up. They want to make it tough. They want to, which feeds into the Eagles' hands, but they want to make it really close at the end. And like classic Chiefs fashion, they win at the end.
Yep.
And I think if you're the Eagles, you got to try like hell to keep the lead most of the game and win by more than one score. Because I
Yeah.
mean, if
I mean
you
they're
can't,
16 and 0 in their last 16 one-score games. So I mean,
exactly, you cannot let Mahomes get the ball to win at the end of the game. And I mean
yep.
that obviously it's way harder said than done. But I mean, the guy's going to come down and do it. Let's not put the defense in the position like last time, like in 2022.
Yep.
The refs have to make a call, and Chiefs are Super Bowl champions.
Yeah. At the
Let's
worst,
not do that.
just let, if any, it sounds bad, but at the worst, let him in with like 2 minutes left and let the offense do its thing.
Yes.
I would be much more content with a loss if it was the offense not scoring on the last drive of the game versus letting Mahomes and them drive down again and not even giving Jalen a chance. So, yeah, execute to perfection. Don't turn the ball over, and you know what? Just go play your game. Trust your offense. Trust your defense. Trust the coaching. Stick with what you got. Stick with what got you here.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Season 2, episode 1, we're back. Give us a like, subscribe. Go Birds. We're going to be
Go Birds.
posting. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Sixers next time. And we're going to talk a little bit, obviously, about the Super Bowl. So,
Yep.
Catch us next time.
Catch us next time. We just made a TikTok and we're on Twitter. We'll put those
yeah.
down below. Highlights of the podcast, clips of the podcast, and the whole spiel. Go Birds. We're Super Bowl bound,
Birds.
baby. We'll see you in New Orleans. We'll see you in February.
This ain't no regular thing. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking and talking me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion. The game is in trouble, I've been